must be nice. Good Thursday morning. It's the main event. I'm your local and your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, and he was nice enough to grace us with his presence to begin the show today this week. Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Doing good.
Good to be back. Missed you terribly.
That's not what he said when he came in. Whatever. You're looking forward to go seeing your bestie, John Holmberg, today.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that, too.
Spending the afternoon with him as well and all that. So, yeah, from what I hear.
Spend the afternoon.
Well, yeah, you're coming back, aren't you?
Oh, we are coming back.
You
Yeah.
got some real Matrix work you got to do.
You're trying to catch up.
You got some Holmberg sports podcasts you got to do.
Was I missed, Steve? That's my only question.
Always missed.
Yeah?
I hide all the awards I get when you're not here.
and the ratings.
And the ratings. We don't talk about those while you're gone. And everything. But, this is a time of year, like we're taking Fridays off, so we will be off tomorrow as well. We'll be back on Monday as well. But it is interesting because this time of year, it's like, man, it dies down to nothing. It's been an eventful week.
Yes, it has. Yes,
Shockingly. It's almost like, man, we shouldn't take Friday off. Well, I mean, we'll talk a lot about it today, but it's nothing pressing. But a lot of stuff has happened. All week long, I've been like, oh, man, I got to squeeze a whole 2-hour show by myself. The next thing you know, Kobe's all time. And I'm like, I got 6 things to talk about still.
There's a lot of stuff that happened.
We went an extra half an hour with Bruce Cooper on Tuesday talking NBA draft and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so good shows.
Did he think the Suns were going to move up?
He did, yeah, and he had 3 candidates that he wanted to move up and get, neither of which were Koa Pete.
Okay.
None of which were Koa Pete. And that's all the Suns did in the draft. That's all they did. I got ratings from several entities on the Suns draft. Not good. The national media not enthusiastic about the Suns draft prospects.
Well, I take those immediately after ratings with a grain of salt.
The difference is there are some teams that vastly improved themselves.
You hope.
Memphis Grizzlies, and they're going to unload Ja Morant, so they're setting up for that. But getting Isaiah Stewart, their draft picks, has been fantastic. Knicks didn't drastically, they just did everything they could possibly do to not draft anybody, to not hit that second apron. It was kind of funny watching them finagle through that. But just, my head hurts. I went to dinner last night with Autumn. And during the dinner, it's like, ding, this team trades this team like every draft pick was a trade.
Yes, there were a number of those, weren't there?
Stupid how the NBA does things. And then it's like, this trade happened. But the pick, like Cole Pete was technically drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. And then he was technically a New York Knick. And then he's a Sun. And it's like, what? What just happened? Why? The Mavericks at no point in time drafted Koa Pete, but he gets counted as a draft pick for them because of the way the NBA does it.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. And even if it's a draft night trade, you got to put the hat on of the team that drafts them.
Yeah, and they say it's because it's not official until after the draft.
Right.
But we know it's official. Robert says, who's the new guy? Well, they'll get used to him. He's leaving here in about 30 minutes.
I'm getting a 30-minute tryout, Steve.
Exactly, yes. We'll see if he comes back on Monday.
Yeah. We'll have conversations over the weekend.
Well,
you don't kind of think about it on this weekend.
If we don't have conversations this weekend, you know your answer. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So if I get a text from you 8:30, 9 o'clock on Sunday night.
Oh, no, it'll be Monday morning. I'll text you like 7. Hey, see you in an hour.
So what did I miss around here, Steve?
Nothing other than this. I got shunned by the Fry's grocery store last Friday. It was kind of funny story.
Shunned?
From that, yeah, I told the story on Monday, but I showed up at the grocery store, me and Ireland, on Friday, because we were off Friday, and me and Ethan were working in the morning, and then my daughter had a swim party and stuff. We stopped at the Fry's grocery store, a different one than we normally stop at. And we had like a half-full grocery, nothing egregious, but we went to this shorter line, and the lady was like side-eyeing me, and she turned her light off after we'd been in line for like 4 minutes and side-eyed me, and then she goes, "Line 12 can help you guys out." Yeah, I was like, really, lady, this is what you're doing? And then she kept helping people afterwards. Yeah, I got. We don't need your kind here vibes from that lady at the checkout.
Were you in the express checkout? Nope. 10 items only.
They don't have those anymore because they have the self checkouts now.
Okay.
Oh no, I check that all the time. Because one time when I was younger, I accidentally got in that 10 checkout line and I had 15 items. And the lady was very rude to me. The lady was very rude to me. I ain't gonna care, but if somebody behind you says something, I'm not defending you. I was like, why don't you shut up and check me out, lady? I didn't say that, but I wanted to. Yeah.
I'd have been one of those side-eyeing you.
That happened as well. Nothing happened. I mean, it was amazing. Me and Ethan had to go to Mesa Community College this week. Smooth as can be. I went out in the wild. Ireland got her learner's permit this week. DMV, no problem. It was weird. I went a whole day with no problems. Nobody causing problems on, what day was that? Tuesday? Monday. That was Monday.
Okay.
No problems, Dale. I know. And then I've stayed out of the wild for the last 2 days. I'm not pushing this trend at all. I'm not doing it. How was your trip? How was San Francisco and the wedding?
The wedding was good, out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I would not recommend Modesto for anybody's vacation likenesses. But flew in Friday.
Where do you fly into to go to Modesto?
We flew into Sacramento.
Okay. Sacramento, and then cut down.
Yeah, it's about an hour drive, and went down there. And again, not a whole lot to do in Modesto. Went to the wedding Saturday night.
You are not kidding. There was not a lot to do in Modesto.
A lot of farming. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's that farming. It's that whole central part of California there.
Farming and cattle and all that. So, nothing to do in Modesto. Went to the wedding, which again is single lane roads for 45 minutes to an hour. Found our way to that.
Isn't that weird? Because you're like an hour outside of San Francisco.
Yeah.
And like that area. And it's just like, there's just nothing.
And then I sitting there going, oh my, I mean, if your phone goes off, no reception or something, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Dale panics about that. That's heaven in my eyes.
Not when you got to, not when you got to be there.
What, were you in the wedding?
No, but I'm attending it. Yeah, hey.
You'd be late. You just they're right there, and they're like, "Do you?" And Dale slams the doors open late.
It's an outdoor wedding,
and he's all, "I had to change my tire." He's all sweaty and grease all over him, and everybody has to turn and look at him right in the middle of the wedding. Come on, Dale, you wanted to do that. Come on.
I do not want to draw attention to myself.
Was the cow the person doing the wedding? Is that what it was? Modesto is a complete farm town, folks. If you don't know, it's not a
But the wedding was at the girls, the bride's grandparents' house.
Was there a barn? Was a barn involved?
I'm sure there were somewhere. But acres and acres and acres of almond trees.
Yeah, that's what they do there.
And
it's a beautiful part of the country. It's just not what you think of,
right?
And California.
The ceremony went off without a hitch. Did the dinner and stuff afterwards, and then made our way back to Modesto, and then left for, really it's called Los Altos, right outside of Stanford.
Did you stay in Modesto overnight?
Yeah.
So you stayed at what, Holiday Inn? What'd you stay in? Cram-A-Lot Inn?
Stayed at Residence Inn.
Okay.
Marriott. I always stay with Marriott.
I didn't know if they had Marriotts there.
Yes.
Modesto's not it's a small town, but for a standard, but it's not a small town.
Right.
It's a big place.
So
we just give it a hard time.
Drove to Los Altos, and that's right by where Stanford is.
I was gonna say right there by Stanford.
Yeah.
That I'm more familiar with than Modesto.
Yes. And I've been in that area before, but
that's Stanford's a gorgeous campus.
Yes.
There.
So much wasted area with trees all over the place. But anyway. I thought
you were going to say wasted area with all those smart kids.
Well, you just feel different when you drive on the campus.
You felt smarter?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay.
Dale all of a sudden like, man, if I press the brake at a 4.2 decretion, I can stop at the stop sign at exactly 3.3 seconds.
Actually, I was like, 2 + 2 is 4.
That's how you got smart.
I got it now. But the highlights of it, of Los Altos with Scott's parents, every morning sit on the kind of out on their deck, and
oh
I
man,
think it got to be.
do they drink the coffee?
Yeah, they drink the coffee. I drink my Monster.
They have their toast.
They have breakfast every morning. I usually don't eat breakfast.
So they're in a big city, but it's more like a country atmosphere.
Los Altos is a city, but they're on half to 3/4 of an acre.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. It gets more spread out.
Yeah.
It's like when you go north of San Francisco, you get into Sonoma, which is spread out land.
Right.
You know, it's a city, but it's not crammed like it is like San Francisco, Oakland, and
Yes.
you know,
you're not looking at your neighbor and them looking into your yard.
Good for you. So you felt obligated to have to go join them on the patio?
I grabbed my Monster. And
Do they have rocking chairs?
It's just they did not have rocking chairs, but boy, they have a lot of chairs. It was beautifully decorated. It was just the amazement of sitting outside at 10 o'clock in the morning, and with a little breeze.
Yeah, that's late.
Enjoying it, and then in the evenings we'd eat outside. Be 75 degrees.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Far
cry from the 112 that you missed here.
Yeah, I'd always pull up the Phoenix temperature to see just what you guys were having to suck up.
Yeah, enjoy that, I guess.
Went out to Half Moon Bay, hung out there for the day. Fun little town, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but
I've only driven through it. I haven't spent time there.
Gorgeous
It's the
little town
vacation
water.
spot, though, on that side of the bay.
Yeah. And hung out there and had lunch and all that.
Dale,
so
they don't let my kind in Half Moon Bay.
I wasn't going to say that. I'm glad you did. They do have a checkpoint when you come in there.
they run your credit check.
Yeah.
Your net worth.
Your W-2.
Yeah, that's a side I don't frequent very often.
I think I told you before we left that there's a Ritz-Carlton there, and that's where Brooke and I honeymooned, where we celebrated a few anniversaries throughout the years. Gorgeous. We loved it.
Yeah.
Weather was pretty nice there, warmer than we thought.
It gets warm there, and they don't have ACs there a lot of times.
Scott's dad is like, okay, so you need to wear pants, you need to bring a jacket, you need to do this, and I still wore my shorts. And
they let you in places with shorts on?
Yeah, we went to this little seafood place on the beach. It's casual, but
I don't do that. So I've done the San Francisco up and down. I've done Santa Clara and all that. That other side, that's Silicon Valley money right there.
I drove through Silicon
Valley. No interest with that, man. That's can't afford that. Glad you can, Dale.
All I had to buy was one lunch, so
that's all you could buy.
Like, all right, I'm done.
What's that NFLPA? I get some more money. I need a CBA agreement adjustment. I'm up here buying lunches.
So did that, and then yesterday, I mean, I guess the thing, and I don't ever say anything until I walk in the house, but everything went so smooth. I mean, we landed in Sacramento, lines at every rental car counter, from Avis, which we were getting our car from. They had our car.
Yeah, you didn't have to be. We don't have your car. Oh, we're going to downgrade you to a
Corolla,
to an intermediate.
To a Corolla or whatever.
It was like, look at me. I look like I fit in that.
Everything went. We got here, there, everywhere, and then coming back, San Jose Airport's the place to fly out of.
That's what I was going to guess. Is probably where you went out of, right?
Flights on time. Our buddy picked us up, dropped us off. Everything went perfect. So.
Well, good. Glad it went well for you.
And now we're here for another few weeks in this miserable heat.
Yeah, good luck to you. I'm taking off to San Diego next week.
Okay.
Getting out of this heat. Last year when we were in San Diego, it was like record heat during the days last week. Like at one point, I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. And they got that humidity on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this year but nighttime is just perfect.
Right.
A little chilly while you're watching the fireworks coming up as well. So we'll give you our schedule for next week as well. I'll tell you this, we'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Dale, I know you're going to have to work 3 days next week. I'm taking Thursday. Obviously, we're all taking Friday off because that's the Friday before the holiday, but I'm taking Thursday off.
You take Thursday off.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, though. We'll be here for the show next week. Robert says the Suns should have moved up for Saunders. Yeah, I didn't know that. He was drafted yesterday, and you found out his grandfather created the tater tot back in the day. And now his grandson in the NBA. Good for him.
Good for them. Good for them.
That was an interesting fact you learned yesterday, Dale, as well. Really quick, I want to get some of your thoughts. I know you're on vacation, but you were paying attention to some things out there. Diamondbacks, your thoughts on your Diamondbacks? They can win the series today.
Well, do they have anybody healthy?
That's the issue.
It's like, I check the Twitter and the news and the AZ Central every day, and it's like, another guy's hurt?
Yeah.
And another guy?
Torrey says he's trying to protect guys from injuries.
But they get hurt.
That's what I said when he said it. I played that clip on Monday. And I was like, what are you protecting him? I use the analogy of my job is to keep everybody from getting stabbed, right? But then all of a sudden, everybody gets stabbed. Well, obviously I wasn't doing things properly. You should change things up. Because you're protecting them not to get hurt, and they're all getting hurt. So do something. Let them go be great. I started my let them be great chant this week, Dale. Torrey, let them be great. We're starting that up again. He just restricts these guys. Now, last night's an exception. They had a young kid getting his first major league start. They took him out after 50-something pitches, but he wasn't conditioned to go. I was at the game on Sunday when Jose Cabrera got his first Major League Baseball start. And he was ramped up, and he was pitching 80-something pitches in the minor leagues.
Okay.
And he pulled him out at 62 while he was dealing. Because he didn't want him to go around the third. Didn't want to go around the third time in the order. It's nauseating. Now, as you look, Dale's so upset he's choking over here, folks. He's choking about this. It drives me nuts what they're doing. But they have a chance to win the series today against a team that they have to compete against for playoff spots in that wild card. So go Diamondbacks.
Right.
Runners in scoring position still seems to be an issue for him. Even though every starter yesterday got a base hit. But they were still 5 for 16 runners in scoring position. On top of that.
33%. It's a lot better than 0 for 9. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I just want to get, I know you weren't necessarily sitting down and watching the games up there. You had to probably deal with Giants games up there. Or the A's, right? Sacramento?
Giants. Everybody where I was.
Yeah, I don't think Sacramento gets a lot of play up there because the Giants own all that area.
Right.
I'm guessing, if I had to guess. And stuff like that. But the Athletics are playing well. Diamondbacks got them coming up. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, no supplemental draft for Sorsby. NBA. The NFL came out and said, well, you didn't give us enough reasons to put you in the draft. And I brought that up, a couple weeks ago with Bruce Cooper on here, and I said, the NBA might have a big problem or the NFL. I keep saying NBA. Sorry, folks. The NFL might have a problem with gambling addictions
coming into the league.
And apparently they do.
It's interesting because all the comments I see nationally and comments on articles and all that, and it's like, it's just gambling. It's just gambling,
Yeah. He's not murdering people.
I've got mixed emotions on it. My question is, if they don't have and maybe you've read this, again, I wasn't studying things in detail, can he sign as a free agent with the team?
He's not eligible for the NFL until the 2027 NFL draft.
Okay.
He can play in other leagues, not college, not NFL, but he can play in another league. But no, yeah, he's got to sit on the sidelines till the 2027 NFL draft.
Did you talk with Coop about this? What was his on?
Well, I think everybody, for the most part, falls on the side of. What we found out, I'll phrase it that. What we found out is people will put up with you murdering an innocent co-ed by driving fast. People will put up with you beating the shit out of your wife. Excuse my language. People are okay with that. Oh, just a few game suspension there. People will put up with Rashi Rice driving down the freeway, almost killing a lady and her kids in a minivan, crashing his car and walking off. Few game suspension. But gambling seems to be the thing everybody puts their foot down on, is what we've learned in this. There's no rhyme or reason on gambling. It's just flat out no. But here's my take on it. And I wonder two things. I wonder, did teams tell the NFL, we're not drafting him? I did see some Jets insiders say Jets aren't taking him in the supplemental draft. They don't know enough info about him and can't trust him to take him.
Right.
So my question is the NFL not allowing the supplemental draft to happen because all the teams were like, we're not putting anything in for him, so nobody wants him? Or is the NFL taking it out of the team's hands? Because I find that hard to believe. I think a team would take a chance on him.
I think somebody. I mean, obviously, why not throw a 5th-round pick?
Why not do a supplemental draft and then suspend him for the season? Which he's not playing this year.
Right.
One of the excuses they said was he'll be a distraction for a team going into training camp.
Oh, please, the distractions to come on.
I know. That's lame. They had a lot of lame excuses.
Right.
But to me, I think the big thing is just simply the NFL is standing on their laurels and trying to keep the integrity of the shield intact. Here's the way I look at it. If you're Rashi Rice, right, you got suspended. He gets suspended last year, 6 games. And then he broke his probation and he had to go to jail for 30 days. That's right. Come back and play, kid. Come on back and play, son. You're getting ready for the NFL draft. You're speeding your car through downtown Athens, Georgia. You kill a co-ed in the car. That's all right. Eagles will draft you. Go play in the Super Bowl this year, kid. And everybody just kind of looks around and stuff like that. But I don't think the NFL can do it. Here's the other side of it is if you get suspended for if you just open a gambling app up in a team facility, airplane, hotel room, locker room, it's a multiple game suspension. If you bet on your team, it's a mandatory 2-year suspension in the NFL.
Which basically is a career suspension.
Absolutely, especially where you're at. Then you add the leadership of a quarterback position on top of that, to where you can't have your quarterback doing that stuff. That could set you back years if you guess wrong on a quarterback. But then the other side of it is, I think the punishment for gambling is so bad in the NFL, no team's going to take a chance on him right now.
Well, the thing is, I guess so.
You're wasting a draft pick.
I agree with everything you said, except for the fact, if you're telling me that 31 teams are not going to take him and I can pick him over the 5th-round pick,
or 6th-round pick,
and he gambles next year and he's gone,
and then he's a 6th-round pick you can waste.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying my point yesterday on the show was simply, what's worse? Like,
no, but there's no
gambling's a self-inflicted deal.
Yes.
Driving a car and killing somebody is a little bit different. And as a society and as an NFL, we view that stuff less dangerous and less things like what Rashi Rice did. It's better that he did that than gamble. I think we're backwards on our stuff as well.
Well, and here's the other thing. And again, I am in no way, shape, or form back in the NFL. But what I'm saying is, there have been a lot of times, and I'm not going to go down and cite them, but there's been a lot of instances where domestic violence. Yeah. There's been this, there's been that, and the player gets no jail time.
Yes.
But he's suspended from the NFL.
Well, if they're found not guilty or no charges are put against them, and then the NFL still suspends.
But the NFL still suspends you.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with what the NFL did. To be honest with you, I just think it's just hypocritical.
Well, it's talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Exactly, and that's what I don't like about it.
But at the end of the day, and I know this for a fact, the NFL can pretty much is Teflon proof for some of these other things.
Yeah.
If it gets out that the NFL's fixed or a player's fixing a game,
$1 billion industry will go away tomorrow.
Yes.
That's
the truth, because gambling and fantasy and this and that, all those things. And again, do I necessarily agree with it? No, because I think if you kill somebody, you shouldn't be able to play in the National Football League. You should be able to work or play until you serve your sentence.
That's the way I look at it. And so that's all I'm pointing out is like gambling on your team is terrible. You don't do it. It's rules. I understand. So I don't fault the NFL, and the NFL had a choice here.
Yeah.
Now, if he was in the draft last year and this came out, which it wouldn't have, it came out. I will go to my grave with this. It came out because he pissed Cincinnati off by going to Texas Tech.
Yes.
And somebody who had some connections
ratted him out.
I have no doubt about it. And that's the other scary part here is the NFL is going along with colleges going, yeah, screw that kid over in his future if you don't like that he's leaving on NIL terms. I have a problem with that as well. But I understand why the NFL does it and things to that effect. But why not just let him be drafted and the supplemental and then suspend him for it? You got a year suspension to get your life in order and stuff like that. What's the harm in that? Doesn't it feel like it's worse punishment? We haven't taken responsibility for it. What? Well, is Rashi Rice taking responsibility? The dude broke his probation and had to spend 30 days in jail. Just got out, a week ago?
Yeah.
Has he taken responsibility for his gun running and his actions? It's just double standards is what bothers me the most. But gambling is the thing.
Yes.
That the NFL is going to just does that, which is interesting to me because refs miss blatant, obvious calls that, and what's the first thing you hear? Check his bank account. And the NFL does nothing about it. And it's like, you can't have it both ways, guys.
I've got to have a very strong feeling that they do monitor officials.
Oh, no, they do. They do. They
accounts
check their bank
and
accounts.
and all
And
that.
they do.
In this day and age with electronics and all that.
But they don't publicize it.
No.
So it looks like you're hiding something.
Right.
Is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got this Terrion Arnold I wake up to. What? He's still playing for Detroit, right?
Well, he's on their team. We'll see. 14 felony counts now?
Jeez Louise. What is so he's still hanging it out with his homies.
Yeah. Oh, he sent them to get their stuff back where they were live. When I read, they were live. The guys that went ahead of him were live streaming it to him in the car. They got there about an hour later and went in and caused some damage themselves. And stuff to that effect.
He's listed as a starter for the Lions.
Oh, no, he's their star. He's their cornerback. Yeah. Yeah. And now this happens on him. This is my point. And now if he escapes jail time or gets whatever he does, he puts a few games suspension. This is what I get annoyed by this. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Think about it for a second. What's actually worse? What that guy allegedly did to me is worse than a guy that wasted $90,000 of his own money.
But Steven, I've said this for a number of years now. If we're going to look to the NFL to be our moral compass,
well, I agree with that.
The NFL will spend it. Hold on, he wasn't found guilty of anything. They couldn't put him in jail.
Yeah.
Is it really the NFL's responsibility to do that? Now
they're going after Sorsby. They're costing him. Now it's Sorsby's fault. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they're purposely costing him millions because he's not going to be a top-level draft pick in next draft.
Probably not. No. But it's a fascinating story. Before I leave, I do want to get because I couldn't obviously watch it, but I want your update on your Arizona Rattlers.
Oh, lost in Tucson.
And Tucson, you said, had a big roster change.
Yeah, they changed, I want to say half of their roster a few weeks ago, and they've started winning. They're working their ways into the playoffs. Top four get in it and stuff like that. But Rattlers are in trouble, man. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not getting a home game. And they're terrible on the road this year. They're 1-3 on the road, I think.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that
their offense.
When you're the host team, you keep the money.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it. Yeah, so we'll see. They have New Mexico this weekend on Saturday. They should beat them. I mean, this is going to be a monumental upset if they don't beat New Mexico this weekend.
And there were no bad injuries. I mean, the guys who needed to play were there.
There's something wrong with that offense. It's just not clicking. It's just not working. Quarterback change this year, not getting any better. The receivers, it's like the timing's off. It's just ugly, man. It's just ugly out there. So we'll see Saturday night. We'll talk about that on Monday when we come back. The more important thing I got for you, though, Gillespie and Goodwin re-signed to the Suns.
I did see that.
$12 million roughly a year for Gillespie, $6 million for Goodwin, and then also They trade up into the first round and through like 17 different teams because the NFL is confusing.
NBA.
NBA. I don't know what I'm saying team wrong all of a sudden. Dale, I'm not used to having you here today. We're all off today.
So nobody corrects you.
Yeah, it's probably true. I've probably been doing it all week. But they get co-op-ete.
Yeah. Again, let's hope it has the fantastic ending that it had the start to.
This is my fear, right? Dale's encompassing my fear right there.
Yeah.
Like the Jake Plummer situation where all of a sudden everybody turns against Jake Plummer because he can't take the lonely Cardinals to those higher levels.
But Jake Plummer isn't from here.
No.
Co-op-ete grew up here.
Well, yeah, but no, but
in
college. That's the closest example I could come to was that. Yeah.
You know, the one thing about co-op-ete that I will always say, and I was telling somebody this fairly recently, I had a coach once tell me, as I was growing up, Dale's not the best player on the team, but when he's on the court, the team plays better.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, tell me where co-op-ete hasn't won.
Yeah, I agree with that, but here's the problem. If you want to take that a little bit, extrapolate that out. The Suns last year had a lot of players that were similar.
Yeah.
And you weren't necessarily better when they were on the court. They just worked well together. Co-op-ete is just going in as another player that's physicality and defense will be good. He doesn't have an outside shot.
Yeah, the 3-point shot is not his strength.
But even free throw line open shots and stuff, he would dribble it in. Like he struggles with that with those type of shots. Grayson Allen, it's 3-pointer bust. Royce O'Neal's 3-pointer bust. Mark Williams, it's just underneath the basket kind of a deal. Oso doesn't have a mid-range shot either. Ryan Dunn doesn't have a mid-range shot. And by judging by this draft last night, they're running this team back and just adding co-op-ete. Is that enough improvement? It's not a knock on co-op-ete. Is that enough improvement to improve on what you did last year? When you have the same problems you had last year, you're going to have the same problems again. That's my only issue with adding co-op-ete to this team. Yes, he's going to improve this team defensively. He's going to play like Goodwin. He's going to play like Gillespie. He's going to be out there and bring the energy. It's just you need some shooters and stuff on this team, man.
You would have thought that would have been the number one priority. Because even Devin Booker wouldn't be considered a 3-point guy.
Well, he changed his number to 15. He's going to dominate this year with that new number.
Anyways, there's still some things to monitor. I mean, does Mark Williams sign with them or somebody make him an offer?
He's a restricted.
But they made like a $9 million offer to him. Somebody can.
Well, like I said, watch the Lakers, folks. So they've always wanted Mark Williams. Just pay attention to the Lakers. They might throw a little too much money at him to where you can't re-sign him from that side. Well, also, Malawatch, can fill into that spot. But I don't know. It just looks like the Suns are going to actually do it. They talked about it, and we were all like, you can't run this. Like, they have to know they have to make changes. And after this draft, you're like, maybe they don't know they have to.
Well, at the end of the day, going into the draft, at pick 47 or whatever they were at, you knew they weren't going to, through the draft, dramatically alter this team.
But, I mean, trades, trading, you could have traded, maybe you couldn't. Maybe nobody wanted Grayson Allen. Maybe nobody wanted Royce O'Neal.
Right.
But, that's what me and Bruce talked about a lot on Tuesday was wrap those guys up into a trade and get up into that mid-range in the first round. Like the Knicks. We knew the Knicks wanted out of that first round. And they were trading left and right. Oklahoma City didn't want to necessarily be up there and stuff. And other teams were making that move, but not the Suns. I found it fascinating.
And
they've fallen in love with that defensive, physical player. But the problem with basketball is, Dale, especially the NBA, the Knicks just won a championship because they could shoot you out of the room.
But they also played suffocating. They played good defense like San Antonio did. Before I get out of here,
I have grades, by the way. We'll talk about that after Dale leaves.
Has Jacoby Brissett been signed yet?
No. Did you hear the new thing that's happening with the
I
Cardinals?
have not.
So Jacoby Brissett, no word. They're just negotiating hard with him. There's one man not drafted or not signed in this draft class. One man.
Would that be a Cardinals draft pick?
Yeah, the Cardinals. There's one Cardinals draft pick that is not signed yet.
But you're saying one first round is not signed.
No, one draft pick. All the draft picks are signed except for one man.
Is that Jeremiah Love?
No.
No.
He signed.
He
No.
signed?
Dale, the Cardinals refuse to sign their quarterbacks. Carson Beck is the only draft pick not signed by the Cardinals.
Okay.
The perception, they signed that, whatever that kid's name is that got hurt. He's going to miss most of the season. They signed him over the weekend. So we learned yesterday Carson Beck is the only Arizona Cardinals draft that hasn't signed yet. And they haven't signed Jacoby Brissett. Holy, we don't pay attention to what our perception is, Batman, by the Cardinals. What? It just looks terrible. It just looks absolutely nuts. And it's slotted, Dale.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
He's going to make $1.8 million a year for 4 years.
Huh.
And he hasn't signed yet. And now Jacoby Brissett. Regardless of the reasons or whatever, it's just terrible perception.
Yes.
Terrible
It's a bad look.
Yeah, for the Cardinals. But yeah, there you go. That's what we learned yesterday as well. See, when you go on vacation, what we learn?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. And a lot more good stuff, right, Steve? The Valley. Good things.
Just depression city. Hey, Diamondbacks can win the series today against the Cardinals. Didn't look that way at the beginning of the series, so we got to give them credit for that.
I'm hearing the weather is iffy.
For today.
Will be played, yeah.
Yeah, today. I haven't got it in the last couple hours, but I know as of last night and early this morning.
If Zach Gallen goes and the game is played.
It's Gallen versus McGreevy, I believe.
If Gallen gets bounced fairly early again, is it time to start thinking about?
Oh, it was time 2 starts ago to get him out of there. So the rumor is Jack Summers and Jesse Friedman on their Snakes podcast. I did go and listen to it. Robert turned me on to it yesterday. I did go listen to it yesterday. They're saying Fott's pretty much ready to be up, and he'll probably be up this weekend to pitch for the Diamondbacks and stuff coming up here. Dude, Gallen's got to go.
What happened to Sirocco?
Left hip glute or whatever his hip, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's out for weeks, not days.
Okay.
That's Tori's new favorite phrase. Lawler hamstring again.
Your guy. Hey.
Ryan Nelson went down. Yeah, it's a disaster. Dale, get out of here. Go lead your depression onto the boys over at KUPD, would you?
Nothing good in the Valley.
We blame Dale. He went on vacation. Dale, I'll see you later today. For everybody else, Dale will be back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, folks. He's going to stop part-timing us next week. Come in. So of course, I'll get you the rest of the way till Luke comes in here. So come on back, folks. The main event. And we're back here. Don't forget, text us 623-252-6670 at TME Sports Show on X as well, or join the YouTube chat where we're, of course, live here 8 to 10 a.m. Dale takes off on Thursdays. I know. He was nice enough to come in for 30 minutes here today and join us. He'll be back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. He will be with us again to get next week underway with everything that happens over the weekend. Don't forget, just as a programming note, we're off tomorrow, dark here from our live programming. The Real Matrix will still be on demand at noon. New episode there. Pit Stop is up this week as well. And who knows, maybe we'll do some with the U.S. World Cup team. Maybe we'll do some reviews and things and put those up on YouTube tomorrow, as well as we'll be doing some work, like I said, with behind the scenes stuff that you guys won't notice up front and everything, or of course, with our shows, is we're just playing with some stuff, getting ready for the football season coming up as well. And then next week, here just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before the July 4th holiday takes over for us. It's going to be fun as well around here, as we have a lot of fun and what we're looking at here. Be really quick on the NBA side. I did see, draft is concluded. Suns did nothing yesterday. We didn't expect them to do anything yesterday either from that side. Really quick, Robert said, I saw somebody post that the Houston Gamblers, of course, that's the UFL, could do the funniest thing. I don't disagree. I don't think Thorsby, I think he's learned this. Well, let me put it this way. I hope he's learned a lesson. They've completely, to me, Thorsby and his team has completely screwed this whole process up. Like, I don't think they took it serious enough. And they were just like, lawsuits will get us to whatever we want. And I do think that's the NFL coming back to his team and saying, we don't play that lawsuit game here. I do think that's part of it as well, to be honest with you. So I don't think him and his team would they might find it funny, but I don't think him and his team would be like, that's the smartest move for us to do right now. Because now, until the NFL draft next year, their number one thing that they need to work on is strictly put him in a better light. Get him to the point where teams can trust him. Get him to the point where teams will draft him next year and get him into the league, and then it's up to him after that. So I know it's funny and all, but it's just, I'll put it this way. If he was to sign with it as kind of like the funny thing, I think it hurts him more than it would help him from that perspective. Get away. You want to just disassociate yourself with gambling as much as humanly possible if you're him out there as well. Lou comes in at the top of the hour, of course, talks some UFC. College baseball's all done. Oklahoma losing record. I'm glad Dale didn't bring that up. Thank goodness. Whew, I don't have to deal with his SEC talk and everything. From that, hockey, of course, is over. So we got UFC. This week, it's an overnight fight over there in Uzbekistan or a place over there in the stands part of the world. We'll talk about that coming up. Early morning Saturday fights as well. In terms of the Suns stuff, just really quick to wrap up the NBA talk. I did go around and see graph grades. I saw some C's. I saw some C pluses. I saw a couple C minuses out there as well in terms of the Suns draft and what they did. Basically, they all say the same thing. I think the ratings are all kind of in line. ESPN has their draft as a D. The only D I saw for the most part. A lot of C's out there. I think The Athletic had it as a C. It was a C minus, I think, if I remember correct. Yahoo Sports had him as a C or C plus type of a range, things to that. So the Phoenix Suns D, according to ESPN, they all say about the same thing. There's questions about Pete's undersized frame, which is weird because he's a big dude, right? Shot selection is a big concern as well for him. Everybody talks about that. But ESPN pointed out something where they called it defensive versatility. Questions about his defensive versatility. Everybody else talks about his defensive and his physicality as a strength. And I get it. It's ESPN. You can say what you want negative about ESPN. But I did find it interesting. That's probably why they slided him down into that D range for him as well, because they rank that defensive versatility as a question mark, whereas everybody else is actually considering it not necessarily a strength, but a positive for him out there. He's going to have to earn opportunities to play with this Suns team. We know how the coaching staff treated young guys this year, right? Probably going to get some G League games in to get his feet underneath him and everything as he goes to play. Suns preferred smaller lineups last year. That's kind of what prefer a smaller team as well. They struggled with teams with length and height last year as well. So, Kopi, just interesting on the grades that are out there. A lot of C's, but ESPN is a D with that little different count. Everybody else pretty much says the same thing. Shot selection's a question mark. Can he shoot a mid-range jumper? Can he hit the threes, etc.? I wouldn't. ESPN said undersized frame. I don't think he's necessarily. I mean, he's average. I'll put it. He's average, not necessarily undersized in my eyes. He's more of an average, but his physicality is going to be great for them. So interesting national perspective for the Phoenix Suns by taking Koa Pete as well in that draft round. So some harsher than others out there. Now it's easy to grade something when you only do one draft pick for him, with everything else happening in the league out there as well. World Cup update for you really quick here as we Lou coming in at the top of the hour. U.S. team does get underway today at 7 p.m. against Turkey. Now, the game means absolutely nothing in terms of advancement. They've already won their group D. They've won it. They're moving on to the next round of 32, which becomes an elimination round. Right now, as of last night, I should say, I did not double check this morning, but the way the scores went yesterday, 99% chance, according to there's websites out there and other sites have reported this as well, 99% chance they're going to play Bosnia and Herzegovina in the round of 32. Bosnia is not an easy team, but it's a team the U.S. can beat. So they get, I'm going to say, a favorable matchup here in the round of 32 to possibly try to advance. And then they'll play next on July 1st, next Wednesday, in that elimination round as well. Here. But tonight from L.A., the U.S. and Turkey, like I said, doesn't mean anything. Their manager out there has already come out and said the 4 players that are playing on yellows, if you get 2 yellows in this group stage, it equals a red, and you'd be suspended for the next round. Not even taking the chances on it. And there are 4 starters that have those yellows. So the U.S. team has decided, and they've already announced it. If you have a yellow tonight, those 4 players will not play in tonight's game, which means you're going to be missing 4 regular starters tonight. Shouldn't matter against Turkey. I'll just say this. You should beat Turkey. Turkey's already been eliminated. They have nothing to play for but pride as well, right? They want to get a win or a tie in this tournament, right? It just helps with their going back home for them and some confidence. But what about your momentum going into the round of 32 if you lose a game to Turkey? If you lose a game to Turkey 2-0 or something. It's just you want your confidence and you want the way and the positive way you've played to keep that momentum going into the round of 32. It's easy to say, hey, we don't have to do anything today because we've already advanced. It doesn't affect our seeding, doesn't affect who we play today, so it's easy to go out there and go through the motions. I want to see the momentum continuing. I want to see them playing the way they played in the first 2 games. I want to see some positivity. I want to see some advancements here on goal. I want to see a victory just to keep the momentum going. A tie or a loss or a mediocre output by this team, that momentum slows down. You want to go into the round of 32 hot. Equate this to like an NFL team that's clinched a number 1 seed in a bye week, and they start resting their guys, right, before the playoffs start. Come into that game after their bye week, a little rusty. Some teams get knocked off in those instances. So I want to see the momentum continue for U.S. and not have them sleepwalk through today's game because it doesn't mean anything out there as well. 7 p.m. tonight for the U.S. Yesterday, Canada did lose in their game. Scotland did lose, man. They're out of this tournament. Brazil did beat them 3-0. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Brazil was going to win that game, but I was rooting for Scotland. I would have liked to have seen them advance. But Morocco beating Haiti is what also, even if Scotland would have won that, Morocco beating Haiti, they'd probably be going home regardless. But Morocco and Brazil in that group are moving on. South Africa, big upset over South Korea yesterday, 1-0 for them. And then Mexico, that was a close game, man. It was a 0-0 game there. And then Mexico ends up scoring 3 goals there for the host country, 3-0 over Chechnya yesterday as well. 6 games today on the slate. Starts at 1 p.m. our time. You got Ecuador and Germany. Should be a victory for Germany today. They're winning that group, though. Same type of a situation. They don't really need this game. However, again, the momentum side, and Germany's got some players on that team. You want to see a good team that could go pretty far in the elimination round. Watch Germany today at 1 p.m. At the same time, Curacao and Ivory Coast. I have less of an interest in that one. I'd rather be watching the Germany game. 4 p.m., you got Sweden and Japan. That'll be a fun game today, folks. Check out that in the Group F action. And then Tunisia and Netherlands, they're also at 4 p.m. As I said, 7 p.m. The U.S. and Turkey. And then, of course, the other teams in this group, Paraguay and Australia, battling it out over at 7 p.m. also today for that side of it. So getting closer to that elimination round. And U.S., after today, the U.S. will play next Wednesday, July 1st. Opponent not officially known, but it is looking like it'll be more like Bosnia coming up on that side for that. So we'll be watching that U.S. game here coming up later on today as well. And we talked about it earlier, with the Diamondbacks just getting caught up with Dale since we haven't seen him in a while. Diamondbacks got the win yesterday. Every starter in the lineup got a hit. Wow. Bats woke up yesterday. Fantastic for the Diamondbacks. The only guys that didn't get a hit were the guys sent in, right? Substituted in. Tawa and Barossa, both, neither one of them got a hit in the game. They're on the box score, but didn't get a hit. Didn't really get an opportunity, but that's how the box score looks today. Fantastic to see. Marte home run yesterday. It was a back-to-back, right, with Groover and then Marte. Home run. Kaplan was not in the Reno lineup last night. Does he get called up today? We'll be paying attention to the roster moves. If he gets called up today, who gets sent down? Now, Carlos Santana being DFA'd, I believe they have one spot open on the 40-man roster to bring Kaplan up. So we won't need that side, but somebody would have to go down. Is it Groover? Is it possible? I mean, it's just people are getting excited saying we could be, Pavin Smith's days could finally be coming. Howick, of course, can go down because Kaplan plays the outfield. It would make sense to unload an outfielder in this situation, but either sent down or DFA. But we'll have to wait and see if that move happens today. You're anticipating it happen. So there was no reason for him not to be in the lineup last night. Of course, coming off of that suspension. Was that 60-game suspension for him, I believe it was? Maybe it was 80-game suspension for him, Kaplan coming up, and he's been doing well there in the minor leagues. And you need a bat. But it was good to see. But even with everybody getting a hit yesterday and they scored the 9 runs, it is fascinating to me. Bullpen, again. I was kind of joking around yesterday when Jay Dramerson was in there. We left the restaurant. It was the 9th inning. Get in the car, get home, and there's innings still on. Say what? Jay Jameson's struggling out there through 30-something pitches, I think, there in that 9th. Gave up 2 runs at that point as well. I was kind of joking around saying, man, you might as well put Sewald in there. He can give up 3 like he did the day before. Kind of sarcastic comments there, right? From them. But let me get the exact number here. 5 for 16 runners in scoring position yesterday. 9 players left on base for the Diamondbacks. So just something to monitor, but I know it's less of a concern when you score 9 runs because everybody's getting a hit out there as well. So we'll see. Is that indicative of the bats starting to wake up yesterday? Or was that just a blip? We'll find out today. 4:45 p.m. Like I said, weather is not good in St. Louis today. We'll have to wait and see. From what I understand, let me do a quick look here. St. Louis weather. Let me get an update here for you this morning. We'll have to see what is happening today. What'd you say, Lou? Turbulent is what the word Lou. I tell you, I like Lou's big words. They get me excited there as well. So 86 degrees is the high. Let's see here. Actually, 5 p.m. their time. It just says cloudy. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Saturday. I apologize. Today's Thursday, right? What is today, folks? Is the question. Excessive heat for that area as of a year ago. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that and see. I'm going to anticipate it going on. But 4:45, Zach Gallen against McGreevy today. Hey, go win this series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Still have that wild card standing for me as well. And then we'll talk about the pitcher yesterday as well. Bratt there. Look at this. Diamondbacks, 41-39. 1-2. They're in that third spot outside the bubble. But Cardinals, by losing here 2 games in a row, they've fallen from that top spot that they kind of had control of going into this series. It's Phillies, Cardinals, and then, of course, division foe Cubs there in the wild card standings. But all these teams are within striking distance. Diamondbacks, 2 games back. But, Marlins 1.5. Padres just half a game back. They seem to be fluctuating there. These are the teams you need to beat. And if you can get out of this Cardinals series with a win today and win this series instead of just tying it, goes a long way to keeping you in this run against quality opponents that are going on this run as well. We got to mention, of course, Bratt in his first major league start yesterday. We've questioned all along. We've kind of questioned, where's Brandon Pfaadt in this instance, right? They needed to stretch him out in the deal. I call it mismanagement for them by not having him in the minors already stretched out for these injury concerns that have happened lately. Reportedly, according to, the Diamondbacks on SI guys, Jack Summers, he's going to be ready to get back onto this team to come in and help out the starting lineup coming up. But you also got to give credit, right? Cabrera on Sunday went in and dealt that game, and he ended up getting pulled a little bit early, 62. And I saw some people yesterday say Bratt's being pulled. He was at 52 pitches, I believe it was, something like that, and he was pulled from that game. He's coming off of an injury scare, and he doesn't pitch much more than 50 pitches a game right now. So he went to the level he went to. Yesterday was a situation. He went to his limit, and they got him out of that game and ended up working out for him with the 9-4 as well. So, yeah, tomorrow is one of those instances for those of us that like to hound on Torrey a little bit. Yesterday was an instance where it was the right decision to pull him out of there as well. He pitched last on June 17th. He threw 48 pitches, at that time. Before that, he threw on May 29th, he threw 39 pitches in that game. So he's ramping back up. He went in there yesterday, 54 pitches yesterday is what he did. That's not something, if you are one of the people that look at Torrey taking guys out, that's one thing yesterday that shouldn't be on your radar at all for him. He pulled him out at probably the right time based off of him ramping back up, which brings me to my next question and my next thing. So we can have Mitch Bratt come up and continue to stretch out. We can have him come up and, ramp back up here in the majors. But Brandon Pfaadt can't do that. We have to keep him in the minors till he's ready to go. Why couldn't he come up and ramp up here as well and go 50, 60 pitches, for a start and then ramp up from there? I don't know. Like I said, I'm just going to keep ranting on it. It's a broken record. Nobody listens to me. Time to go on as well. So Diamondbacks today, 4:45 p.m. Weather permitting. Gallen, McGreevy, go win that series. Need to go win that series and continue to improve on that wild card stand here and just confidence. Thing to pay attention to besides Gallen's start, which I'm not happy about today. Well, I'm not enthusiastic about it. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. But yesterday's batting, is that waking up the bats? That's the other thing to pay attention to today. Does it continue, or was yesterday a blip for your Arizona Diamondbacks? And when we come back here, we'll get into Uncle Lou, of course. UFC fight this week, an overnight fight. Morning main card here coming up from one of those stands countries over there as well. Get into it with Lou. Come on back. The main event. come in and talk sports stuff on then if you like. Of course, we're here on Thursday here at the main event with Uncle Lou. You can catch him as a contributor on VSiN Network as well. Gamblu.com, at Gamblu on X. Uncle Lou is here. Lou, how you doing, man?
Doing just super. Fun time of year for me. I normally would come in here at this time of the year because College World Series now over. And we can talk about results there. Hockey's over. We can talk about those results. And I'm in a dead period because I usually don't get my NFL study guide, 600 pages. In fact, it's 619 this year. Anyway, it normally comes after the 4th of July. It was here yesterday. And so I now have the next 2.5, 3 weeks set up to attack the NFL
He's being
season
modest, folks. He's already gone through all 619 pages and broken it down.
No, I have not, but I'm just going to share some stuff. I mean,
well, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's get to that. But we got to, we have a fight, and I joke around that it's in one of those stands here, right? It's a German
It isn't a stand.
I know it's not.
It's
I joke around about it.
And
I shouldn't joke around about that. They might take that serious over there. But the reason why I wanted you to do your intro today is we generally will get more listeners and viewers from that side of the country with the fight this week. So tell everybody where they can find you and how they can look you up for the fights this weekend and for every fight, by the way, every fight week as well.
Right. And the fact that we have pull other than Phoenix in the United States is flattering, but my name's Lou Finicaro. I am a sports handicapper since half a century plus. I did it as a kid growing up because others were doing it around me. I learned from the best, and I've always done it, and I have the ability now to have a little web page and have my own presence to go out and share information. The first thing we'll learn about when we go to the web page is I didn't put this week's fight blog on. What a knucklehead. But,
it'll be up later on today, right?
I guarantee I'm going to get on the people at Gamblu World Headquarters and kick some ass over there. Anyway, you want to learn about me? Everything's on the web page. And while I do 2 podcasts a week dedicated to the UFC, an opening line report early in the week called The Sneak Teep, then the About Business, those are available on the bottom of the webpage, as you can see Kobe scrolling down for us, and they're available anywhere you get a podcast. But the important thing about the webpage is the top band that will give you descriptions of the sports I work, me, who I am, what I do. But important to us, and Steve lets us highlight this each week, is the button on the far right, the San Xavier Del Bach mission, which is the oldest mission in the United States. It's located in Arizona. It was erected in like the late 1600s. And so they're doing really great work down there at the mission that's still active all these years. There's a link directly to the mission on the webpage. Steve lets us highlight that each week because I'm not above informing and sharing that we forward proceeds as much as we can to San Xavier Del Bach mission regularly each year, and we would invite you also to do that by using that link. Thank you.
And just so everybody knows, we don't talk about this enough, but I mean they have schools down there and things to that. So it's not just that mission that you see in that picture. They have other entities helping families and children out down there and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a whole diocese. It's part of the Tucson diocese, but it's its own parish.
Yeah, so just so you know, it's not just that specific thing. It goes to a bigger side. But no, of course, like I said, kind of gets that stigma of what you do, Lou, out there. It is changing, but you do have some of that. It's all about the profits. And, and I'm not bashing VSiN by saying this, but you tune into a VSiN show and it's just profit, win type of a situation.
Well, it's pick.
Yeah, we like to show a friendlier side of that here on this program.
I won't give VSiN any heat because they employ me, but there's some really sharp people there.
Absolutely.
But I mean, when you have to fill so much time and airwaves, sometimes.
Yeah, I wasn't attacking them. I was not attacking them.
I get it.
We do things a little different here on this program, is what I'm getting at.
Right,
so.
Which is great. But the fact that I have been with them since their inception 10 years ago, I'm really proud of, because really I look at them as well. There's another network that competes with them as the two real dominant ones, and I know the guys over there too. They're all great people. When each person's industry ends up being a small,
Yes.
intimate industry anyway.
Gambling is a
each
small
other,
entity. Yeah, people don't know that. Vision's always taking care of us.
But
here on
anyway,
this
back
program,
to
too.
gamblu.com, and thank you, Steve, for letting me mention the San Xavier mission every week.
Absolutely.
And again, the fact that there may be people in the Muslim world that are tuning in to get insights on the fight card this week, I'm flattered by it. I've prepared for it, and whenever we get to that, I'll throw out some interesting nuggets.
So, yeah, absolutely. Gamblu on Twitter as well, folks, on X as well. For that, you follow him. He puts stuff out during the fights. And like I said, for us here in the United States, early morning fight card coming up. So we'll get into that in a little bit here. And look back at last week's fights at the Apex, because there were some, well, at least one big favorite that went down last week. We'll talk about that coming up. But, Lou, college baseball's over. Oklahoma losing record in the SEC. Got hot, beat a bunch of ranked teams, of course, to get there. Beat North Carolina, another ranked team. Won it in that third game. How'd your College World Series picking go and ultimately end up?
Well, as we understand, after regionals, I had gone 1-9. Thankfully, the one was Oklahoma at 9-1 or 13-1 or some unusual number. We were fortunate to have diagnosed Oklahoma early in the tournament because they were really our only source of profit. I did post somewhere my final College World Series record. It was something along the lines of 7-27 for a -20. But understand that we had Carolina at 22-1. And then when they went down in the first game, they were +185. I took another 4 units there at almost 2-1. And then before the last game, I took another 5 units on them. So what we had basically built was, I knew that if with a Carolina win, I was going to show a 20%, 18% return on investment on the College World Series. However, if Oklahoma wins, then I was going to show a 20-unit loss. And so I made the gamble. I was a big boy, and I lived by the results. And so what I'll say, just to wrap up College World Series, is none of it went the way in Omaha that I'm used to it going the last 10 years at the new park. No big deal. It is what it is. But just like hockey this year, I'll be back.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Weather wasn't as big a factor.
It was no
factor,
factor, and that's a
previous
huge edge for me. Also, let's talk about Oklahoma. Oklahoma, an SEC team. I don't give a poop if the SEC team is 3-30. I don't, because I've been touting SEC for years. This isn't an anomaly. About 3 years ago, Florida came with an 8-9 SEC record and took the whole thing. This is what happens when you invest in the SEC. And I'm just saying, what there were of the 8 teams, 5 were SEC, and you had an SEC winner. I rest my case. Yeah, unfortunately, those that listened to me got 20 units of loss, and those are mostly. Probably 10 units of those are the future bets that I made from the beginning of the year, which were full unit bets. But most of the bets I made during the College World Series and the regionals were half unit bets. So I really, didn't really hit or make very many positive plays. That's the way it goes, and that's what it is.
And the weird thing about Oklahoma was they had that 1-star freshman that dominated game 1. But then they had another 2, and I didn't put enough. I thought that the freshmen might kind of struggle a little bit in the College World Series, and they did not.
I bet that they would.
Three. Yeah, you bet that way. That's why I thought North Carolina would do it. And those 3,
right.
Oklahoma's the first one where the 3 freshmen started and won College World Series. Never happened before.
And the history in Omaha of aces like Pryor and freaking Clemens and all these badasses come to Omaha in college, and they get shelled.
Yeah,
the history's deep, and for these 3 freshmen for Oklahoma to play the way they did, they beat me fair and square. But I bet against that happening, and that's just the way it goes.
Absolutely.
Carolina gave us the best effort they could. It was a great ride. For until the last game, I was feeling pretty damn smart.
2 out of 3, they've lost. The last 2 out of 3, they've lost in the final final round, right? They made it there 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they were 1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2. Okay, so I was trying to remember what they did back then. So yeah, so I mean, North Carolina. It'll be interesting to see. You know, parity is in college baseball right now.
I mean, next
you
year we'll be sitting here and you'll be saying, "Man, Lou sure likes the SEC." I'll just be throwing darts at Mississippi State, I'll take them. What's this one say? Oklahoma, I'll take them too. I say it every year.
Yeah, it makes me nauseous as an SEC guy. I was joking around saying, how overrated is the SEC top teams when a team that finished 11th in the SEC wins the whole tournament?
Yeah, I think
Texas,
the whole
Georgia,
league.
Ole Miss, all overrated. That the 11th ranked team beats them all to get there.
I respectfully disagree.
Lou, I'm just grasping at straws to try to bash the
it's all
SEC.
good, and it's a great debate. But as long as you can make opinion the way you want to make opinion, and I'll make my own opinion.
Yeah, of course. You said Warren Sharp's reporting is out. I was joking around saying you've already studied all 619 pages and you're ready to rock it out there. But you said you had some initial NFL thoughts going. We're just having some fun earlier on Carson Beck not signing with the Cardinals yet. The only draft pick. Obviously, they're arguing with Jacoby Brissett out there. So give us some positives here around the NFL, or at least what you've seen.
I don't positive or negative. I don't. I'm just going to give you what I do. Okay, and so here's the first thing I do. I find team by team list of their schedule that I can print on a piece of paper. This is impossible to find. Go on out there and find a printable where you just have the week number, the date, the team, and the time, and you got room to write. Because here's how it starts, and here's how it ends.
He's not kidding.
So one starts blank, and one starts with a bunch of writing. I have 4 teams done. Obviously, Arizona's one of them because alphabetically they're the first.
I was going to say, you already went through that nonsense.
Yeah, I did, and you'll hear this first. I'll understate it, but they're absolutely a bye team for me this year.
Really?
Absolutely.
With that schedule.
Let me ask you something. Can you get them any lower?
Oh, well, that
is true. If you follow Warren Buffett, just look at it like a market.
Well,
that's all I'll say, because I'm not going to
spend
too much time.
They're underdogs. At least last time we looked, they're underdogs in every game, including that Jets game and things to that effect. So that from that perspective, that's why we love having you on, Lewis.
Yeah,
you give us that different non-fan perspective.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore's out there with the highest total that they have, a quarterback that's a freak athlete, but he's been hurt the last few years.
New coaching
an offensive
staff.
Line that's putrid, a whole new coaching staff and major turnover, and their running back, one of the top running backs in NFL history, period,
Derrick Henry,
is now old, and he has another 3/4 of a year left in him. All the hits he's taken and stuff. Yeah, Baltimore is a absolute sell team. 11.5. I already took that.
Yeah.
You took the under? I paid a price, -140. Yes. They're going to have to prove it with all the new everything there. There's so much turnover in the NFL. There's Buffalo. Buffalo. Everybody. Well, wait a minute. Buffalo. Whole new coaching staff in Buffalo. Yeah, the offensive coordinator's now the head coach, but that's a big change.
That worries me.
There's a lot for me to do these next 3 weeks to get these teams done. But basically, what I do is
tell us what you look at.
I'll have 32 teams that are broken down. I track what players have left, what players came in, who did they draft, what is their strength of schedule in the NFL. There's based on win totals. There's a graph that Warren does that shows you what strength of schedule. And so I know, for instance, that the Cardinals, it's easier for me to look here. I just don't have their.
What is it, the 3rd or 4th worst, hardest schedule?
The Cardinals have the hardest schedule in the NFL.
I was trying to remember.
And then they got all this negative, everything else working for them.
Just all negative.
As far as net rest, they're at +1, so they're right in the middle of the pack. In that, right, I track offensive line rankings. I track front 7 rankings. I study where the division games are, what games are on Thursday where they have 4 days of rest, but then 10 days afterwards for the next week's
Cardinals
game.
don't have any of those.
No, Cardinals are all no
All
national
Sundays.
TV. The Cardinals was the easiest one of all of them because I breezed through. There weren't a lot of notes to take. Let me tell you.
I think there's 4 teams with no national.
There's
games.
only one team that has to play. No teams play 3 and 10 this year. 6 teams played 3 games in 10 days last year. This
None
year,
of them do.
None of them do.
Not even the
which
Chiefs.
is good. At least they did that. Now NFL, there is one team that plays 4 games in 17 days. That's Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's another team. A whole bunch of changeover, a terrible offensive line. We'll have to see what happens in Buffalo. Actually, Buffalo's offensive line rank was pretty good. I take that back. It's their front 7 that was 23rd. So
How do you factor in like the Rams? You probably haven't gotten
I'm
to the
not
Rams
there yet.
But I'm just saying, how this is an example. How much travel they're doing?
Oh,
You factor into that?
that's tracked, but it's tracked
They're
in
the most traveled
conjunction
team this year.
in conjunction with days off. So.
Okay. So you combine the two and stuff like that. Just giving people the insight to what you look at
Well,
here
I mean,
and go through.
I surely track all the games that are out of the country. I'm
Yeah,
just
Rams
looking at
have 2 of
Buffalo's here.
them. Yeah.
Buffalo doesn't have one, so
Was it Rams or 49ers have 2 of them?
49ers have the worst travel schedule
Is
in
that
a
what
long
it-
time.
okay, I
And
had
it
them
seems
backwards.
every year some teams get picked on.
Yeah.
The worst one is the net rest for the Chargers, which is just
Isn't it like plus
brutal.
25 or something ridiculous like
brutal, negative.
And- oh, negative
It's
25?
just brutal.
that? Yeah. I know, and the Cardinals catch them early, first game of the season. It's like, man, you can't even get them when they're going to be tired and beat up and stuff to that effect.
Oh no, I think that's a great surprise spot for the Cardinals.
Yeah, so you're going through that. You've already started it.
So
You guys
I've got
saw what he
14
writes there. Yeah.
I'm 4 teams in, but I track offensive lines, defensive lines, strength of schedule, net rest.
I mean,
all
just
of that goes
just
in,
when
all
there's
that goes into
when
it.
there's like it's early, right? As you're going through this, and you say Cardinals are a buy, 'cause you can't buy them any lower. You won't be able to.
But there's other reasons.
But you factor
too,
in the
but
quarterback situation.
I factor every pimple on the guy's rear end. That's what I factor. Okay, but I'm not going to lay it out here right now.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it anymore. Okay.
No, just giving people insight on what you look at when you're going through
I'm
going through
telling
this
you,
and looking forward. Yes,
I mean,
so
there's 619 pages here for 32 teams.
that's a lot of info.
Yeah, it's a lot of info.
God bless
But
him putting that stuff
and
together.
really, when I read through, I don't know how many pages that is per team. I use probably 22 to 25% of the data that's in those 600 pages, but it's such critical, important data for me when these days of advantage come and where they lie in the schedule to map out each team the whole season long, so that during the season I'm just looking at week 6 and week 7 and I don't have to do this work then. And so I really am comprehensive, and the best comprehensive, most detailed report is this Warren Sharp, but it takes me, I have to read 619 pages to get 23% of the info that really helps me.
Yeah, and that's why I was joking around on that. Now, what about just thinking about, as you're evaluating the teams, you get to Kansas City. We don't know exactly when their quarterback will be back and able to play. For instance, just as an example, a big-time player that might miss some of the season and that stuff. Does he take that into account in his notes there? And, at the beginning, is there caveats to where if Mahomes is there to start the season, or does he just go straight out data regardless of what the injury stuff is?
Actually, Steve, that's a really excellent question. And to answer that is he's up to date. So he says, hey, right now, we don't know when Mahomes is coming. It looks like this could be this. But he also, through the course of July and early August, he'll send out a couple-page report update, tweaking this and that, which is really helpful to get his perspective.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like you sit there and do all the research on the Chiefs, and you find out he's going to miss the first 2 games.
Well,
and you're
shred it out. When there's an unknown like that, and you're talking gambling, you have to have that, balance. Yeah. Undetermined at that joint, but that's a great question.
Yeah. So you lose getting into it, which just simply means, right? I mean, Cardinals report less than a month from now. If we're obviously doing the Hall of Fame game this year, so the
Cardinals are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So they come into camp on July 22nd. Everybody else is about a week later.
And where's camp for the Cards? Up in
Glendale.
Flag?
No, it's Glendale now. They moved it down here a few
Down
years
here.
ago.
Oh, nice.
So it's
nice,
here in Glendale.
Nice, cool, shady area.
I know. And if Carson Beck's signed, he'll obviously start that Hall of Fame game and probably play a lot in it. No starter or regular person is going to get in that game against Carolina there, where Larry Fitzgerald, of course, gets enshrined this year with Luke Kuechly of the Panthers, and that's why they're battling it out for that. Any closing notes on the NFL?
No, I'm looking forward to the season. I honestly believe that there's maybe 3 or 4 left for me in the NFL based on
years.
Just based on some of the refereeing, the amount of games, some of the what we're talking about is how a team can be negative 17 days rest.
Yeah.
They kind of sell out for ratings, and so maybe my days are numbered in the NFL.
Yeah, they talk about player safety, Lou.
They're not concerned with it a bit.
And the Chargers have minus 25.
Yeah, they're
days
not
of
concerned.
rest.
They're concerned with ratings, and they've come out and said it, and it's clear what they want, and we get it. So it is what it is.
Adding a Wednesday before Thanksgiving Day game.
I don't really mind any of that. As a gambler, it's unfortunate, but the players' union will be happy because more players will play.
Yeah.
But the product will get diluted over 20 games, and gamblers just want to gamble. For me, it's the inequities of some of the play calling and some of the decision making that's done that are starting to lead me to think that when there's great big amounts of money, sometimes funny things can happen, and that would probably force me out faster than anything else.
Yeah, the irregularities that could pop up is what I pay attention to these day and age. Well, I tell you what, let's take our break real quick here. Come on back, get into last week's UFC fight. I've got 3 fights I wanted to talk to you about, and obviously this week coming up here, and I'm going to apologize right out front for everybody tuning in. I am going to trip over where this fight is all day long. For some reason, my tongue,
call it Baku.
Yeah, just will not work for the country there. So I'm going to apologize up front, but we'll get into that as well. Come on back, main event with Uncle Lou. Back here, main event with Uncle Lou, of course, VSiN contributor, Gamblu.com. Hit him up, Gamblu on X as well. And, of course, joins us every Thursday, except programming note next week. We're off next week, and no fights next week, UFC. No, obviously, anything we do. He'll just be at home working hard on his NFL stuff. Folks.
I'll be watching on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, where I'm actively watching the total hot dogs on Joey Chestnut at 72.5. I'm looking for a 73 or a 73.5. If I get it, I'm going under, and I'm going to go under pretty good. I bet this event every single year. It's good, clean fun. I'm looking to win money, not just have fun. And at 9, they'll shoot the gun, they'll drop the puck, And at 9:10, we'll know where our fate stands. Now, if you track Joey Chestnut hot dogs eaten for the last 10 years, which all you have to do is ask Grok or AI,
70
they'll show you
something.
what it is. He's exceeded it a couple times, but he ain't getting younger. And quite honestly, who knows how humid it's going to be or what the situation will be. I don't see anyone so close to him that's going to push him to have to make 74. So if I can get that 73, I'm going under.
Well, and that's the thing, right? If he sees it, he's sitting there and he notices everybody else is at 50 and he's pushing 70. It's like, I could slow down a little bit, unless he's going for the world record.
Bertoli, the next guy in line's got 58. So he's 72 and a half to 58. So you kind of have to balance that. And sometimes, and if I don't get that number, then I'll look to a Bertoli or there's another guy named Eater. They got all these goofy nicknames. It's really a fun event, and it's as Americana as you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. So I tell you, we'll have to talk about this later, but maybe you can come in virtually on Wednesday or something for like 10 minutes, and we get updates on that hot dog eating contest. We'll see if we can arrange that.
I'd be happy to do that.
We can arrange that later on and stuff. Just do a quick Nathan hot dog segment.
Just do a
next
quick
week.
clause in my contract.
That's technically it's an off week, but we'll get squeezed in for 10 minutes and all of that. But then, of course, you'll be back the week after with UFC starting back up and the July 4th, America's 250th birthday out of the way as well coming up on that. But last week, the fight was at the Meta Apex, kind of a rebound after that Freedom 250 there at the White House there for the UFC as well. A couple things happened in this fight that were kind of eye-openers to me as somebody that I knew a lot of these fighters out there as well, but, it's kind of shocked the way it went. For instance, Michael Aswell Jr. was roughly a 350 favorite going into that fight. Lost their unanimous decision to Gaston Bolanos, from Peru. I just, your thoughts on Michael Aswell Jr.? It's more, Bolanos fought out of his mind to win that fight, but Aswell Jr., that's kind of disappointing, wasn't it?
Well, I think I was high on Aswell early, thinking he was going to saw him in half.
Yeah.
Well, it
ends
up I had a bet on Bolanos. And I bet him right before the fight started because the number got out of whack and everyone was on Aswell.
Yeah.
And so as I watched the fight in the first round, Aswell was exponentially faster than Bolanos. Bolanos was Frankenstein and walking into him. But in the second and third round, his diligence and the fact that Aswell slowed a little, Bolanos packs heavy power. And he earned the fight. And Bolanos is a guy that you have to understand probably starts slow, but at that new weight class, he's good. I take no discount against Aswell in that situation. He's fast, he's powerful, he's tough. It was decision.
Yeah,
so
Aswell landed the punches. He was
the most
freaking
firing
punch
the whole time and was willing. Yeah. That's one of the few dogs that came in. Like I say, I had a small position on him now.
Well, there's a big dog that lost. The big favorite that lost. That's Andre Lima. Lost to Kevin Borjas.
And I did.
That was like a 600, 700 favorite.
Yeah, Borjas came in and missed weight as well, but he was motivated. And hey, these things happen. Borjas was on, Lima was not.
Missed weight, so he came in heavier?
I've used Borjas a few times, and he didn't look like that.
Well, that's what you said last week. You said
I've used him, and
been disappointed by using him. Yeah, and comes in this fight. Missed weight, so he came in heavier? So he had to give up some of his purse?
He comes in 129, freaking guy.
And a flyweight, huh?
Yeah, so, just that's it's not clean.
And then the other one, not an upset, but I did want to get your thoughts on Andre Touchy-Feely in this fight. Oliveira did get the win. He was the favorite to win. It was a KO in the second.
Yep.
But does it change your mind on Feely at all moving forward?
No, it changes my mind on Oliveira that he wears the weight better. He needed it.
Yeah.
Now, we had 3 dogs going. Philly was one. The other one was Emil. He got finished too. That was terrible.
Round one, 4 minutes in, almost 4 minutes into it, but That was a quick one there. Rodriguez finished him.
That's right.
Submitted him.
And
yeah.
then we had Mitch Raposo. So there was one dog winning out of those two. Cut your losses pretty good. And we had Kopp, who I said for 2 rounds was going to struggle, and then in the third differentiate himself.
And he did.
And that's what he did.
I was thinking that watching that, and I was like, man, Lou nailed this fight 100%. Just slow starting for Kopp, or to the point where I was like, you better wake up. Or
I don't think it was slow starting for Kopp. I think Horiguchi was freaking there to win. I mean, the guy was motivated. He's fast. He's hard. Horiguchi, somebody better watch out for that dude. He's not done.
He's short. He's got a weird body where just like he's stocky, and you just don't. I don't think like I'm gonna say it as me as a fan. I was kind of goofy in the ring to where you're kind of like, yeah. But man, he was strong. He was physical in there and stuff to that effect.
Makes me think that Kopp could be susceptible a little to Pantoja if he gets that far. If he gets Van, that's a stand-up fight.
He wants Van.
That'd be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, he wants Van. Kopp also kept falling in this. Like I kept saying he was falling, but he'd get hit and then go down, like running backwards. It's like, is he keep tripping? Is he slipping on the logos, or what's happening in there? And stuff to that. It's kind of a weird deal, but opinions. You're obviously higher on Horiguchi, but Kopp,
we'll see. I mean, he sets up well against Van for his speed, but I don't know. We'll have to, what Pantoja's situation is. Yeah. Does Pantoja get Van in the immediate rematch and Kopp wait? We'll have to see.
Yeah, so
that's an artful way of me not answering.
No, I got you. The Meta Apex. This was. And that's one thing I've noticed as this season has gone on. These Meta Apex fights are being put together to where these fights it used to be Meta Apex. You kind of just like, whatever. And these fights, they're actually putting some good fights together here in the Meta Apex this year, whether that be Paramount Plus or guys just sitting around not having fights to do and they have to get into the ring. But the days, I think, of Meta Apex fights of ignoring them might be done, Lou, and you might need to pay a little bit more attention, especially if you're a fight fan, because their fights are getting better in those. What I'm getting at.
Okay.
There as well. Just my little knowledge there, Lou.
They're not getting bigger. Okay, 12 bouts, and now that.
No, I'm just talking about competitor wise.
Yeah.
More guys that you recognize are in these fights against guys you recognize. Those types of fights. Just as a casual fan, I'm just throwing that out there. I know you guys that are into this all the time.
Actually,
what
I was going to say is you're the John Q public that has actually learned a lot. So if you that's fine.
I'm enjoying. Before I'd watch the Apex fights while I was doing something else.
I just think
now it's like I got to watch.
You're just getting smaller bodies in the Apex. That's all.
That's
you would think more decisions. And you got what'd you get? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 decisions out of 12 last week. Yeah. So you're getting some finishes.
Yeah. Even a
woman
decision too, Lou.
No women on this card. No women in the Muslim world, fellas.
Yeah, they don't allow that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Women submission. I mean, she was a huge favorite. Ended up being like a 650 favorite last week, and did a submission from that side, and everything. But this week we'll move over to a national gymnastics arena. Baku, Azerbaijan, is what it is. You have to slow down my brain in order to get my brain to say all of that together. Obviously, a Muslim country. Obviously, a lot of the fighters are coming from that area. I am limited here on my knowledge on these guys out there and everything, so I'm going to obviously trust you, Lou. But 9 a.m. main card this weekend coming up for this fight on Peacock Plus, so get up and pay attention to it. 6 a.m. it would be if it's 9 a.m. main card. 6 a.m. our time here as well for the prelim fights. Lou, I see a lot of black, shadowy pictures here on the prelim fights on the UFC page, which tells me even the UFC is like, we don't have pictures of these guys. So tell us about the prelim fights.
Yeah, there's some debuters. So you got 12 bouts, large cage. When we talk about the Muslim world, Azerbaijan, we're talking about a bunch of the Russians, Kazakhstanis, Tajikistanis, that whole area of the world. And when I say Muslim region, Muslim area, I'm referring to a religion. And for the most part, these fights, 10 of the 12 of them feature someone from that Muslim world facing someone that has to ship in from outside of that world, advantage Muslim fighter who's got his crowd there, who doesn't have to travel, and disadvantage the person that has to travel in. It's just a fact, okay? We have one Russian versus an Uzbekistani fight. So we've got one that'll be interesting that the crowd will be yelling either way, I would think. Should be interesting. And then we got a Colombia versus Aussie. But for the most part, it's Muslim world against outsider. We know what the UFC's MO is. They like to create and keep momentum in each region that they visit. So some of these fights could be, might be, and may well look like they're manicured towards the Muslim fighter. It's my job to determine which ones those may be and which ones may not fit the mold, so that maybe there's opportunity going against one person in that Muslim matchup, only because you can get a price, and if you get a live fighter, you can thrive.
And just so if you're United States publicly educated like I am, it's just north of Iran, and then right next to Armenia and Georgia, right off the Caspian Sea, just north of Iran. So it's on that side, whereas all the stands are on the other side of the Caspian Sea. Just to give you an idea of where former Soviet Republic is where this is at as well. So just to give you an idea of where we are in the world this weekend. Here for these UFC fights. Look at you learn some geography.
And it doesn't matter where you are. If you have the UFC in your area for fights, if you're in the middle of the Antarctic, you're gonna have seals and polar bears there watching because people want to watch fights. Okay,
absolutely.
There's no more fertile, proud area to watch fights in than the Muslim world, who you really are looking at vice grip wrestling, sambo. Grappling, boxing, and striking, and so let's just go with these undercards.
Hit me up the prelims, because I'm going to let you lead me on which fights we're going to watch and which fights we're not going to.
Okay, well, the first two have a bunch of debuters. There's let's start here. Matsumoto and Almacan. Matsumoto, Brazilian, wins by points. He's lost to a couple good fighters. Almacan, a Kyrgyzstani, one of the guys that's there, doesn't have to travel. He's got decent power, and here's a situation where the Brazilian Matsumoto's the slight favorite. Almacan could be a live dog here, and I'm waiting for the points handicap on DraftKings, because if that goes to decision, this one could be a home cooking fight, and you get a really, really close decision. Even if your guy loses, it could be a split decision when it really isn't, and you could win by points. The next one I'll draw our attention to is the Uzbekistani against the Russian. The Uzbekistani fighter is Sultan Ruzibov, 6'5", 32, 185 pounds. He can wrestle, he can strike, and he'll be an inch taller than Puliev, a Russian fighter. We last saw him in against this chiseled Ghanan named Gauthier, and Puliev made a really good showing for himself. He's strong, he can wrestle, he can strike, he's not afraid. This is going to be a fight that I draw your attention to because you don't want to miss it. Ruzibov opens minus 250 to Puliev plus 210. And now, if you look, Ruzibov is, where is old my
minus
old boy?
230 right now.
Okay, so minus 230.
I'm sorry, Ruzibov? Yeah, minus 230 for Ruzibov.
Yeah, 230, 235, 220, right in there, 1.5.
I use DraftKings.
I would tend to look over the 1.5. I'm seeing 1.5 and 2.5 here, which means it's going to be 2.5 in a while. I think Puliev is more durable and tougher than people are giving him credit for. That's an over one that I would look at. Then as far as the undercard, that's really about all I got there. Most of these are fights I'll watch and learn because we have so many debuters and fighters from the area that I've never seen before.
Yeah, going back to that first fight there that you talked about, the Almacan and Matsumoto. You said you're waiting for the totals to come out on that?
I'm waiting for the points to come out.
The points right now on DraftKings, just because. Looks like it came out here, plus 3.5, minus 175 for Almacan in that fight.
Plus 3.5,
plus
what?
3.5, minus 175.
What's that tell you?
They don't want you to take it?
That's right.
But down to 175, they don't.
Yeah, no, they're trying to keep you off of it.
Over-unders 2.5, minus 220 to the over in that fight as well. for him for Osmakon or in that fight with Matsumoto as
Yeah,
well. So
it's circa in the super book.
that's
it's-
DraftKings.
Right. So shop because
Yeah.
I may, as soon as I get off the air here, I may be looking at that 1.5.
Yeah, it's for that. So it is interesting how they float that stuff out there. Now, interesting enough, I know the Brazilian guys will fight in other countries. We don't see too many of the home guys in this area fight outside of this area, do we? Like a lot of these names aren't guys that we'll see in Vegas and the Apex, and at least my recollection saying that. So when you're saying you're going to sit back and watch these fights, and they're not guys that generally will travel and get a lot of fights a year and things to that effect. Am I correct in that perception? And just miss their names later on, or does that tend to be the case?
Well, you're noticing that when they go to Armpit, Uzbekistan, or some remote corner of the world, they want fighters from that
Exactly.
area.
Yeah.
So they bring in fighters we don't know.
And that's why.
And
Okay, so
I
that's why
watch
it's
them
like
and learn. And
okay.
if a guy knocks another guy out quivering, they're like, "Oh, we want this guy. He's in now." And so that's why you don't see me spend a lot of time with some of these remote undercards nor bet them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need it. I'll bet fighters I can handicap.
So then we got the main card here as well. We got Abis Magomedov against Mikkel O here from Poland. Germany and Poland, guys, battling this out. Magomedov right now, Abis is a minus 380, I believe is what he is right now going into this fight as a middleweight bout.
Yeah, Abis Magomedov is a Russian that's now fighting out of Germany.
Oh, okay.
So he'll have the crowd there because he's the Russian. Hellestrae, the Polish fighter, fought once at 205. Now he's down at 185. This is the release I made earlier in the week. Magomedov has the well-rounded ability, and he's been in with a good set of opponent. This is a good fight for him. Hellestrae, however, I think just has too much experience and too much power in his hands, and I think he's going to be able to thwart the takedown attempts, keep this fight standing, and light up Abis Magomedov. And that's why we took him early in the week at plus 135. Now that fight's like a pick'em.
Yeah, it's a pick'em. And I said earlier minus 380. That was the opening line. But minus 115 for Magomedov, minus 105.
Minus 180, you mean?
No, minus 115.
Okay, it opened minus 1.
Yeah, minus the, yeah, that's what was the opening. Right now it's minus 115 Magomedov, minus 105 from McCollum there.
Yeah,
so it's a pick'em.
Yes, and so that makes it different than getting Hellestrae plus 135. I just have to say.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference.
That's a big difference. It's harder. It's hard for me to recommend it now, but I mean,
over unders 1.5 in this, minus 135 to the over as well.
Yeah, I like the over in this fight too. I don't see him getting Abis out of there quickly, and I don't see Abis getting him out of there quickly.
Yeah, perfect for that line. Then you got up a middleweight bout. You got Ikram Aliskerov and then Bruno Ferreira here from Brazil, Russia, guys, battling it out according to what I see here.
The hated Brazil, Russia, where Ferreira has to travel in. Two lefties. Ferreira is just a powder keg of power, but he doesn't protect against the takedown. He's not very good on the ground. And Hellestrae obviously has had a couple wins, one against Park, one against Muniz, both very good on the ground. So Hellestrae should be the favorite here. Ferreira, for one punch power, could surely find him. But this is a tough one because it looks like Hellestrae's set up here to do well with two left-handed fighters. It really makes any fight odd.
Yeah, it's going to look weird. Over under on this is 1.5. It's minus 110 to the over, minus 120 to the under. So even Vegas is going.
Well, if it's going under like that, then you take Ferreira KO or Hellestrae sub.
Okay.
And you make a plus on each side and try and get out that way.
And figure that out. And then you got Azu Amalbayev and Charles Johnson battling it out. Kazakhstan and United States fighter here. Charles Johnson coming in from the U.S.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Amalbayev, Asu, he's a good wrestler. He got good hands. Everything about him is good. He opened 400. Now he's minus
258 on DraftKings.
Oh, so he's bounced up a little bit, huh? To DraftKings 260. Geez, that's ridiculous. There's a FanDuel 235, 250, 250.
That's why you shop around.
You got to
folks.
shop around, but it's good to have numbers of actual places when we do these things. So this is an interesting fight. Charles Johnson is going to be 5 inches taller, and he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. So Johnson's going to look like a monster in there. He's got great power. He owns a KO over current champion Joshua Van. He's going to try and knock out Almabayev. Almabayev needs to get in close, not allow the long guy to get his arms or knees extended, take him down, get this fight, make it a wrestling match. That's how Almabayev would win this fight. And I gotta think that Almabayev is decent consideration here, but I don't like the 215, so it's probably a watch.
Watch instead. Nazim Saidakov and Matthias Camilo here battling it out. Brazil and somebody else from that Russian.
Azerbaijan, he's a hometown kid, but he fights for Longo and Weidman. So he's fighting out of Jersey, but he's going back home to fight in front of his people. He's going to have the crowd. He's got the game. He's got the experience. 2 lefties again. He's coming in off a loss. He opened minus 160. He's now minus 235, 255.
238 on DraftKings.
Yeah, he's minus. But this is a fight where he's set up to shine. The other kid's 7 years the younger man, and again, they're both lefties, so it makes it an odd duck fight. But you got to lean to Sadikov here. Maybe you look at Sadikov and Aliskerov together, and you do your little Azerbaijan sandwich with 2 of those guys, and you try and make a couple bucks.
Little parlay on that as well. Over under on that's 2.5 minus 166 to the under on that fight as well. And then we see Shara Magomedov against Mikel Pereira here from Brazil. Russia, we've seen, obviously, Shara battle it out several times in this part of the country. He's a 4-10 favorite right now coming into this fight.
Yeah, that's too much. Shara is an expert striker. He's single-visioned. He has one eye, and he looks unusual, but he can fight pretty effectively, and his striking is world class. He's more premeditated and calculated. I'd say he's the much more precise striker, more scientific in this fight, whereas Pereira is an absolute wild bull of the pampas. He'll do cartwheels, he'll freaking run from one end, bounce off the cage and come at you, do a flying knee flip, try and hit you in the head with his heels. He's an absolute crazy man. And so you've got one guy flamboyant, one guy scientific. It's going to be a really great, odd fight to watch. Pereira's there to get knocked out, and Magomedov's there to do it. I think that's probably what happens here in this fight. 1.5 over minus 250. Yeah, I think that, I would maybe say something that looks like a 3rd-round finish maybe, or Shara Magomedov in the 3rd round. I think it'll take him a while to saw Pereira down, but Pereira is all offense, has no defense. He's kind of a front runner. He could surely win by hitting him with some wild heel out of nowhere, but I think he's there to make the crowd stand up and get us ready for this last fight that's going to be just a barn burner.
Yeah, the big main event in this, Fiziev and Torres battling it out here. A hometown favorite there against a Mexican fighter. And I say favorite, well, it's a pick 'em in this, but I just meant hometown favorite for the crowd there as well with Fiziev from that area. Minus 115, he is right now, minus 115. Torres is minus 105 going to this. Over, under, 1.5, minus 160 to the over right now as well. Lou, tell us about this fun little fight.
Yeah, don't miss it. And that's all I can say. 2 great strikers. Fiziev is unusual that he is an Azerbaijan Russian-based fighter that is Muay Thai expert, but he doesn't have wrestling or use it. Torres does, has used it, has a few subs. He's a finisher. In his pro career, he's never been out of the 1st round. So I would think Fiziev plan, the striking coach at Phuket Tiger Muay Thai is Fiziev. I would think their plan is try and navigate this fight, make this kid work hard, get him into the 2nd round where he hasn't been before Fiziv's got great experience, but along with that experience goes a little bit of attrition because he's had the brakes beat off him in his last 3 or 4 fights, by the likes of Gaethje and some others. So he's taken some damage. And Torres is a mean, willing Mexican. You stand there with a golf club and swing it and hit Torres in the chin, and he's going to barely blink at you. He's got a granite beard. He's a Mexican fighter, tough as nails. And he's going to be taller and longer than Fiziv. This should be a really excellent fight. No one knows what's going to happen here. I'm going back and forth because I like the youth and the raw stepping up of Torres, but I like the experience of Fiziv. I just don't know how to monitor where he is as far as the damage he's taken. So we'll have to wait and see what I want to do with this one. But 1.5, at 1.5, I'm surely willing to take a look at the over.
Yeah, and are you worried at all with a guy that's never made it past the first round? Are you a little weary of what his stamina would be after the first round?
Well, I said the Fiziv plan would clearly be to take
to go that
the
round.
second round.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they're worried about it, I think others should be too.
Okay. Just
right. It's just clear. You take him where he hasn't been. Why not get him there?
See what he does.
Because he's been to the second round with any number of crazy cats. Gamrot, Gaethje. I don't have his fights here in front of me, but clearly, I think Fiziv navigates this to 2 and then tries to take advantage. And it'll be interesting to see Torres. The fights I've watched, he just comes right out and finishes his opponent.
Yeah, it's really
Dude's
fast.
a beast.
And then obviously, the training side for Fiziv's kind of getting ready for that to happen. 11:45 a.m. about is when this fight will go off on Saturday morning. Lightweight bout there as well for this. So some good fights in this fight. Morning fights as well. Leads into lunch here.
And then isn't does the World Cup roll Saturday? Are we finally into elimination?
Nope.
Where there's a bracket and I can see what's going to happen?
No, the bracket's being formed now. They're going through it, but I believe Saturday's the last day. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, you're starting to get the bracket filled out right now.
Give me a bracket with 32 teams so I can see and then I'll have a little fun, but this 3-way stuff, I don't get it.
Then it's even worse because now this year, because they expanded the tournament, so now you got the U.S. right now is 99% favorite to play Bosnia, who finished 3rd in their division because 8 teams, the 8 best 3rd place finishing teams can advance this year, and that used to not be the case. So now you're going to have a number 1 seed playing,
remember Charlie Brown when he was listening to the teacher? What you sound like right now. I know all that. Give me a bracket,
so the bracket is even more confusing this year is what I'm getting
at.
It is.
Not when
once
they
it's
have
out.
32 teams printed on it, it ain't. Then
once it's out, I know.
But that's where I need to be so we can talk about it because I can ask my soccer guys now, hey, what about this one? Last night the world was, South Korea has to win.
Yep.
They got to win it.
Yep.
Give one with South Korea.
I
watched that game. Yeah. South Korea got their ass kicked.
For a 1-0, but they got dominated. Huge upset.
That was a one-sided soccer game,
that
bro.
was a huge upset. Yeah, it was exciting to see. Stuff like that.
That team that beat them,
South Africa.
Democratic Republic of South Africa. That's a team you want to root for. I'll tell you a team I got a little bit of money on, and I didn't have to put a lot on them because they're so long. Colombia, all they are a bunch of UFC guys playing soccer. I'm telling you, these dudes are bad hombres. Yeah, just watch them.
I've been watching. Yeah, no, I get you.
Have you been watching
this
stuff?
I watch. I don't watch every game because I have no interest in some of these countries. Like today you've got,
will you watch U.S.
I'll
tonight?
watch the U.S. Even though there's nothing on the line, 7 p.m.
Here.
There's nothing. Yeah, 7 p.m. our time. There's nothing on the line, win or lose, that doesn't change anything for the U.S. But I'll be watching because I want to see that they have that momentum. I'm big on momentum in these tournaments.
Who they play?
Turkey, who's been eliminated.
Turkey Eye. Why are they calling them Turkey Eye?
That's their official name. So that's what I know. It's welcome to the World Cup, right? But I want to see the U.S. momentum continue. If they go out there and look sluggish, now they're going to be without 4 starters because they're resting them because they don't want them to pick up another yellow card because that would mean they'd be eliminated. They wouldn't be able to play in the next round. So you'll be without 4 starters, but I'm big in momentum on this. This game means nothing. And I want to see the U.S. go out there and play the way they've been playing, keep that positive momentum going forward. I don't want to see them go out there and say, this game doesn't matter. We're going to just kick the ball around in a
resting 4
glorified
starters,
practice
bro.
and lose. So it shouldn't matter against Turkey. It shouldn't matter. Keep that momentum going tonight. I'm a big momentum guy, Lou. I can't help it.
Okay, 4 starters are not playing. How many guys on the pitch at one time?
Like,
how about that? I got that
Yeah,
right.
but like Senegal and Iraq, I don't really have an interest in watching that tonight. So I don't watch every game.
I just want to see a bracket.
Yeah, and then like tomorrow you got Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. I have no interest in watching
So are you
that.
saying if the U.S. loses or if they win,
Doesn't
they have
matter.
the same draw?
Yeah, they've won Group D already.
So it doesn't matter
Doesn't
whether they win or lose what they're doing.
No, goals don't matter because goals can be a tiebreaker.
That makes me like
None of-
Turkey Eye.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Lou.
That
I can
makes
see the
me
U.S.
like
going out
Turkey Eye.
losing
Turkey
2
Eye
to.
probably still playing for something.
No, they're eliminated.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, but you're playing for pride, right? You want to
Sounds
win.
like I'll be watching Days of Our Lives.
You want to
then,
win a
because I don't
game.
know
You
if
want to win a game in the World Cup, even if you're eliminated and stuff. To
That's
that.
true. That's
You
true.
know, so they do have more to play for than the
Yeah,
U.S.
I think
does.
you're right there. I'll buy that.
And
I
it
will
worries
buy
me a
that.
little bit. Yeah, you don't want to go back home to Turkey and say you lost all 3 games, and
What the hell could kind of
you want to go home as a hero that you won a game there as well. So
soccer?
but
let's see.
Japan, Sweden at 4:00 is going to be an excellent game. I tune into that one.
Japan and
as
Sweden.
well,
Yeah,
coming
Japan
up
get.
today.
Oh no, Japan's good, right?
They should be, but so Sweden, they can both advance.
FIFA
and-
World Cup.
Good,
Let's
good.
see what we
Look
got.
at Lou getting it all in the World Cup here as well. Yeah. So I don't. In the past, I would.
91% of the bets on Sweden.
Oh, really? That doesn't. I guess that
A
should.
lot of they're all betting the Netherlands. They're all
And all Netherlands, Tunisia again. I'll
they're
watch
betting
that
Germany
game.
like they got the final score.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Germany, Ecuador. Well,
All these
Germany
chalk.
should win that game.
All this chalk.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's all chalk. Curacao, Ivory Coast. I don't have a-
95% of the bets on the U.S.
Yeah, I don't have. Well, that doesn't surprise you, right? Home
Total
team.
2.5. Oh, I see a 3.5 at FanDuel.
Really? 2.5.
I see
Over
a 3 at the Superbook.
Going with football and saying over 2.5 could be dangerous.
Yeah, I was
going to
say at FanDuel 3.5 under -196.
that under
That's
might
a
look
farm
good.
bet. You know what you do at the farm? You bet it.
Under 3.5.
Absolutely.
Well,
The
for the
US
reasons
ain't
I
looking
said,
for
they
it.
don't have to. They don't have to press and score. They can win this game 1-0
And 4
play
starters
defense
are
the
out.
whole time. Yeah.
All right.
So it's something. Well, 4 starters with yellows. Well,
Everything
there'll probably
you
be
just
another one.
heard, if you bet any of that in soccer after what I just said, I'd ask you not to do it. These are thoughts that I have. I really have proven up to myself not to know a dadgum thing about this. I'll tell you when I think I know something.
By the way, I'm undefeated in my World Cup bets this year.
Well, good for
all
you.
7 of them. But I also.
Oh, wow.
But I also haven't really stuck my neck out there too much. I did go
see.
U.S. over Australia, but I thought it'd be closer than it was. But I haven't stuck my neck out. I'm waiting for the elimination round. That's where this tournament starts.
Yeah,
in my
no,
eyes.
I got 4 teams to make the semis.
Oh, who are those?
I have
Do
a
you remember?
couple of teams, all South American teams, to win it all. Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil,
Yeah,
because of the weather.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are small bets because they're longer.
Yeah.
To win the
Brazil's got a
semifinals
chance.
was France, Spain, England. That was all chalkish at 2 3
England,
to
you got
1.
to worry about. England's that one team in the World Cup. I equate England's World Cup soccer team, their national soccer team, kind of like the England of the 1700s, 1800s, where they just dominated all these countries in the world and everything, and then they show up to the big battle against the United States and just got their asses kicked. They do this in the World Cup too. They dominate all the time, and they're one of the best teams out there. They have the most talent. They get to the World Cup, and then they just lay an egg.
Well, we'll
England drives me nuts.
we'll sure see.
England drives me nuts on that.
So I got Colombia. I think I bet Colombia 20 to win a lot.
I'd say that's got to be long odds for them.
Maybe a couple grand.
Yeah, Brazil's not long odds.
But
though,
I
is it?
took Argentina honey for 9 honey. That's the one that I'd like to see win.
They got
But all together in the World Cup, I
Spain
really
was
didn't.
Spain was the favorite coming in. I don't know if they're still the favorite right now, but the problem is they expanded this tournament, and you're going to see this in the NCAA tournament. You're going to see it in college football playoffs for the NCAA. it makes teams look better than they are when you play teams that wouldn't normally be in this thing, but they're in there because they expanded it. So you're making those teams look better, and you're also making, a type of system. So this doesn't start till the round of 32.
France plus 400, Spain plus 550, Argentina plus 6.
Spain was plus
England
400.
7-1, Portugal plus 950, Brazil 12.5, Germany 13,
Portugal.
Netherlands 14, U.S. 33.
Yeah.
All these other ones are Colombia 45.
The U.S. team is the team I'm referring to when I say they went up against inferior opponents. Australia being the one exception there. So it made the U.S. look really good. But the U.S. isn't in the Brazil, France, Spain category. They're really good, upper medium, but they've looked really good in this tournament. So you got to see them against one of these round of 32
the
teams.
bookmakers need Turkey or a tie so bad tonight you can't even stand
What
it.
did you say? 91% on the
They're just. I mean, what do you think? It's the U.S. We're in the U.S. It's the World Cup. You got all these people.
Well.
I said it the other day on Twitter. Here's all these handicappers that struggle in their own sport, and now they're World Cup experts, and they're all giving out Led Zeppelins. South Korea -1. I mean, get out of here. You can just tell when you're -1. No, I'm not doing that.
That is true how people switch and slide over. I'm not paying attention to anything. I'm just looking at odds and plays. Like I said, I'm 7-0, which granted it's $5
I'm trying to pay attention. I'm looking at odds and I can't figure a gosh darn thing.
And like I said, I normally in the past, it's just there's just matchups I just don't, because both teams are like Caraco.
But I will say this,
don't care.
and correct me, I know you feel the same way. Once we get Netherlands, Spain, or Brazil, Germany, or I mean, you get those powerhouses.
Yeah.
Those are
round of 16 on. Do not bother me if a World Cup game's on. I will be invested in these games. They're going to be fun, exciting.
I got to agree with that.
32,
Steve.
there might be a few games that I'm not interested in because you just know it's going to be lopsided one way.
Right.
But once it's the 16,
right,
don't bother me when a World Cup game's on. I'll be paying attention to that because you get to the best of the best. And that's kind of why the expansion of this kind of annoys me, is because in the past
it
you
takes
have
longer
upsets.
to get there.
Well, and you'd have upsets in this round in the past. Like the only major upset we had was yesterday with South Africa winning. Yeah. Normally, you would have a really good team get knocked out in this round. It's just not happening this year.
Well, you watch
because
more
you
than
get
me.
flooded. Oh, I love
I'm every 4
soccer.
years.
I grew up as a huge soccer.
Well,
fan.
I will say this: I'm really looking forward to. I kept I want that, but when you're at 16 and in, I agree, and I think many Americans feel the same way too. I think this soccer thing is starting to grab hold here.
Well, every World Cup is this way.
Yes.
Where everybody, it's kind of like the Four Nations tournament for hockey or the Olympics with hockey. Everybody's invested in it. And then you go back to regular season. All of a sudden, only the diehards are there now. All the people that fell in love with the NHL hockey goes, well, this is boring, and they move on with their life. It's the same thing happens.
Yeah.
You're excited about this, especially the longer the U.S. is in it, and you'll watch the good teams. You'll see a lot of 1-0 games, which Americans are like, that's boring. But they're just fantastically played 1-0 games and stuff like that. But then, like I said, the second it ends, people aren't going to their local, the local MLS
turn on
team.
the hockey game.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going, I'm going to watch Salt Lake, MLS team tonight, and they're my new favorite team. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't translate at that point. But it got you hooked. That's good.
I love
Looking
it. By the time
it.
the tournament's over, my NFL work will be. I can do my NFL work. While
Yeah,
that's
July
going
19th
on.
is the final game, so it rolls right into training
July
camps.
19th, the final game. I'm in Vegas.
In MetLife then as well.
Oh, I'll be in Vegas watching those games. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I'm pretty sure it's July 19th, but over in MetLife.
That's a Sunday.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah, and then Cardinals report on the 22nd, so it flows right into that as well.
Here we go, guys.
I hate to say it, but World Cup saving us for a boring summer of just baseball.
I couldn't agree more, because baseball ain't it. Listen, 162 games.
Yeah.
When Toronto comes to Arizona, and you don't think they're out on Scottsdale or at the Merc, one of those nights they're in town. If you don't think so, you're nuts, and you can't bet that. That's why I don't bet postseason. If the Diamondbacks are hosting a postseason game and the opposing team comes in, they ain't going out drinking night before the game.
no.
It's a different deal in the postseason.
They're in working at that point, right?
So,
Get ready
so
for the
that's
game.
why I bet the postseason, won't bet the regular season.
Well, Lou, we're out of time, so you're going to have to save your
They're
NBA
giving me the
draft.
hook.
Well, you're going to have to save your NBA draft to break down for later on. That's all I'm
shucks.
saying. I know you worked hard on it. You're excited to get to it.
Dadgummit.
But gosh darn it, we have to bump you on that for next week as well. Don't forget, Uncle Lou not here next week.
I'm out the door.
We'll get together, though. Maybe we'll try to schedule him on Wednesday here to give us an update on the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
The roving reporter. I'll be happy
As well,
to do it.
let's get him on for just a quick segment on that to get you guys ready for July 4th weekend. And then I'll be back after that as well. For everybody else, we are off tomorrow. We're getting some stuff done around the studio and other items around here to clean things up. We'll be back on Monday next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll keep it rolling. Come and join us, would you? The main events.